Konnichiwa, hello and welcome. This is Roy at NinjaZilla90, and today I will be reviewing the NECA Shin Godzilla Atomic Blast version. And yes, this is a really awesome, really cool figure, and I got some things to say about it, so let's get started. And now, starting things off with the box, because, we gotta talk about really cool boxes on this channel when we still have them, and thankfully I save all my NECA boxes because they have hang tags, because I hang them on my wall as decorative pieces. But anyway, we see a real cool picture of the 2016 Shin Godzilla right there from a downward view on up. And as our good friend Tzilla54 has reminded me, the Japanese writing on this box says, I believe, Japan versus fiction, if I got that right. I hope I did. If I got that wrong, I do apologize about that, buddy. But anyway, we do have the Shin Godzilla Japanese movie logo right there, and of course it says Shin Godzilla right there in English. And of course, we have the Godzilla logo at the top right corner. At the top of the box, we have Shin Godzilla in both English and Japanese. Yet again, we have the NECA logo at the top right. We have ages 14 and up, stating that this is for more mature collectors. This is not a kid's toy. And of course, we have warning label, choking hazard, small parts. So yeah, reminding people that this is not edible. So don't look at this figure and get hungry and mistake it for a bag of Doritos or a Slim Jim or a Snickers bar, because it's not edible and it's not going to go over so well in your stomach, which I believe we all know better by now. The side of the box, we get a pretty much the same picture we get on the front of the box, kind of like the movie poster, but it's just more of like a smaller like side view of it, but it still looks cool. And of course, we have the 65th anniversary Godzilla logo right there from 1954 to 2019, and the other side of the box is pretty much the same thing. The bottom of the box, all we have is a NECA logo, real toys, a serial number, a barcode, which I'm more than sure nobody's interested in, and a bunch of recycling logos. The inside of the box, we have a really cool picture of the figure right there with the atomic blast effect part right there, which we do you do get two of them, as you can see, one firing out of the mouth and the other firing out of the tip of the tail. And of course, we have the inside of the box with the very fiery background with the city of Tokyo set ablaze right there. Which I've already taken this figure out about like 6 years ago. And of course, the back of the box, we have the Shin Godzilla movie logo in both English and Japanese. Yet again, we have some really cool pictures of the figure right there in different poses with the atomic blast effect pieces, looking really nice. And of course, we have the plot for the movie right there. I'll leave it up for a little hot minute so you can pause it and read it. And now, of course, moving right along, we have the Toho logo right there. We have the Godzilla Kaiju logo right there. We have trademark Toho.co, and yeah, that pretty much concludes it for the box. So now, on to the figure. And now, here we have the NECA Shin Godzilla Atomic Blast version figure right here before us in all of his Atomic Blast grotesque glory. As you can see, this is a really awesome, well detailed figure from NECA, of course. Um, as you can see, this one is sort of like the typical like Shin Godzilla, sort of like, I would say almost like a charred charcoal gray colorization. Although like this one has like sort of like the like brighter like pinkish purple in the dorsal spines from when he's using his atomic blast heat ray, of course, with some accents of white in between those dorsal spines as well, looking really nice. Of course, I will be going over detail and articulation with this figure, starting with the upper body portion of the figure, working my way down to the lower body portion of the figure, and then getting a more in-depth detailed look at the figure and getting onto the effect parts that he comes with. So let's get started. And now, starting things off with the upper body portion of the figure, of course, this one does not have any jaw articulation because the jaw is just fixed open because it's the Atomic Blast version. Although, if you do have the original, like the regular NECA Shin Godzilla, which I have two of them because NECA accidentally sent me two when I only ordered one. So if I want to swap out the heads and just have them out this one with like the normal Shin Godzilla head, you can. So you can do that, but I'm just not gonna demonstrate that in this video. But anyway, getting a good look at him, we can see the inside of the mouth is sort of like this bright, sort of like really bright, sort of purple colorization, sort of like this very like bright, like sort of like, I would say almost like fiery lavender, I would say, maybe, with some white accents showing that yeah, there is some heat going on in there. And we can see all those small little bitty grotesque teeth that Shin Godzilla has, and we can see these small tiny little beady eyes that Shin Godzilla has as well. And of course we can see like the his inner muscle tissue inside of his neck even igniting, like it's just like crazy. And of course, like I said, since I have my light turned off and I'm using the light on my phone to film this, we can see the finer details in the lit dorsal spines as well, looking really nice. And we can turn the figure around. Although, like, I'm doing the upper body portion of the figure, you can still see the finer details in the tail, especially getting a good close-up like this with my light turned off. Using the light on my phone, you can see all those finer, nicer details. And yeah, although like you don't really have a face in this tail, it still looks very, very nice, especially in the sliding. And as far as articulation, like I said, this one has no jaw articulation. It's obvious because this is basically for the heat ray breath effect part, and you can see the socket where it plugs in at. Basically, the head can rotate independently from the neck, so we can turn that head around. Oh, that looks creepy. Not gonna lie. We can rotate the neck independently from the body as well, so we can do a full 360 cranium revolvus like Wizards of Waverly Place. And of course, we can rotate the entire torso on a ball joint if we choose to. Oh boy. Yeah. And of course, we do have ball joints in those shoulders as well, so we can rotate those shoulders all the way around a full 360 with those small little bitty Shin Godzilla toothpick arms, of course, and then back around. And of course, we do have a single joint hinge in the elbow as well. Same is true with the other arm, so we can bend it forward and back, and I got the arm sideways, so let me fix it right. So okay, here we go. Now I can see the hinge, so I can bend it forward and back like so. Yeah, I got that arm sideways. Now I got it fixed. And we do have an elbow swivel as well, so we can swivel those elbows all the way around a full 360. And yeah, and of course we can swivel the hands all the way around a full 360. Same is true with the other hand. And of course we do have a hinge in the wrist as well, so you can bend them forward and back as well on those little tiny toothpick arms of his. And of course that pretty much concludes it for articulation with the upper body portion of the figure. Of course, getting into more detail, looking at them, because we can see a lot of finer details in the sliding, so we can see kind of like all that more like charred, more grotesque detailing in Shin Godzilla right there, looking really nice. Of course, we have the really pointy, sort of like bony spike in the middle of his chest. Yeah, as you can see, it still puts an indentation in my finger, just like the original. And yeah, this figure is looking nice. So yeah, that pretty much concludes it for the upper body portion. So now let's get on down to the lower body portion of the figure and getting into those hips and those knees and the feet and all that good stuff. So let's get to it. And now getting more in depth with the lower body portion of the figure. Starting things off with the lower body portion of the figure. As you can see, the legs and the hips and the knees and the feet are well sculpted. The the hips are on ball joints, just like the original, just like the regular NECA Shin Godzilla. We can't really spread them out too much because they just rotate forward and back. That's about it. So you really don't have too much leg articulation, because these are like $20 figures from back in the day, which you're going to pay a markup now on the aftermarket, which is clearly not worth it. Like I said, I would just wait for Hiya Toys to make an exquisite basic Shin Godzilla by this point. That's if you don't get upcharged on tariffs right now. But anyway, hopefully that tariff situation settles down. But anyway, we also have a single joint hinge in the knee, so we can bend the knee forward and back, and we could do, although it's very tight, a full 360 swivel if you choose to. Same is true with the other leg, so we can bend forward and back and do a full 360 swivel if we want to. And of course, we do have the feet on ball joints, so we can point them forward like so, and then back like so, and then rotate all the way around. Same is true with the other foot. And of course, we do have some articulation in the tail. We have pretty much 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ball joint segments in the tail. Same, we can articulate the tail somewhat. As you can see, the tip likes to pop off because it's a bendy wire rubber tip, and I am not bending mine for obvious reasons, because I don't want it ripping. But as you can see, we can articulate it somewhat, but it's really stiff, because mainly because of the sculpt and the materials that the figure's made out of. And yeah, you don't really have a whole lot of ball joint segments. Is this still one of the earlier NECA Godzilla figures? But yeah, the articulation in the tail is okay, not as good or on the same level as the SH Monster Arts versions, but it's still good for what it is nonetheless. But once we get a Hiya Toys exquisite basic version, we're definitely going to have better articulation here. So, but anyway, that pretty much concludes it for articulation with the lower body portion of the figure. So now let's get a more in-depth look at the figure and get on to the accessories or the heat ray breath effect parts that it comes with. But anyway, let's get started. Now I'm getting a fuller, more in-depth view of the figure. As you can see, it does look really nice in the lighting that I chose to review this figure in, which yeah, especially at the time of day when I don't have a whole lot of natural sunlight coming in my room. This definitely does make the figure look nicer, and of course he comes with his two atomic blast heat ray breath effect parts here. I do need to state that this is obviously not meant for small children, because these have some metal tips coming out of the end of them that you do plug into the socket, so do be careful. Yeah, and I do need to be careful I don't, accidentally rub these against my TV screen in front of me, because I don't want to have to replace another one, because I already had to replace my Sony Bravia because I accidentally chucked some charger cables at it and it cracked the screen. So yeah, it made me feel real bad. But anyway, yeah, that's how he looks with the atomic blast heat ray effect parts in his mouth and in his tail. It is hard for me to get a full on view of it, but as you can see, this is how it looks with the effect parts in the mouth and then the tail right here, so you can get a fuller view of it. Looking really nice. It would display really well on your shelf like this, especially in this type of lighting. But yeah, I just displayed on my shelf with the rest of my NECA figures without this in. But it does look cool with it. I mean, you could put either effect part in either side. It doesn't matter. They're both the same. It'll work either way. So that's something you don't have to worry about. But it does look really cool. Not gonna lie. Looks really awesome. Hopefully, if we do get the Hiya Toys Exquisite Basic versions, we do get like something similar. So that would be cool. And also, yeah, don't mistake these for chopsticks. But anyway, that pretty much concludes it for this review. I will now be getting into my final verdict and giving this figure a final score based on detail, articulation, and playability. So let's get to it. And now for my final verdict on the NECA Shin Godzilla Atomic Blast version figure here. If I have to give this one a final score based on detail, articulation, and playability, I have to give him a drum roll, please. A very fair but square, well-deserved 4.5 stars. Why? Because detail-wise, I think he is really nice. This figure looks really, really good, especially in the lighting that I was reviewing this figure in. I know it doesn't look half as cool with my lights turned on right now, but it does. It still looks really cool for what it is. Articulation is good enough for what it is. Although, just like the regular version, I do feel like the tail articulation is a bit stiff and a bit lackluster. I think that's something NECA could have did better. But I mean, it is what it is, and yeah, this was a budget figure, so they had to cut costs somewhere. Playability, it stays together good enough, except for that's obvious. It's a rubber tip. It's it's meant to pop off easily because it's meant to be easily attachable once you heat it up, but then it pops off just as easily. So yeah, it could get annoying at times, but if you're just going to display this one on your shelf, that's not going to be a problem. But if you want to do stop motion or figure photography, or even battle with other figures from time to time, yeah, that could be a problem. But Anyway, I still think this is a good figure. I still give it at least, you know, almost a perfect score, but not quite. But that means like it's still a good figure, but it's not like a big, like it's not like a major home run or anything. So it's not like a figure like I would consider like a major hit, but it's still a good figure nonetheless. But anyway, I hope you guys all enjoyed this review. If you made it this far into the video, thank you guys all so much for watching. Your attention span is much appreciated. That really helps out this channel. And if you want to help out this channel even more, like and subscribe if you haven't already. And as always, stay safe, take care, God bless, stay positive, stay powered up, and peace out.